So the Nether Revamp update is right around the corner. And by this, I mean it's really close. Just look at this screenshot. The admins already got the whole island built, and they're going to be releasing it within the next few weeks. Now with an update as major as this, it is really important to be able to snag right onto the new content and start making money when the profits are the highest. In this video, I'll be showing you guys the best setup that currently exists in the game for grinding this new update and how you can definitely get right on the top of it. Now PSA, this is an endgame update, so I will be using endgame gear. Alright, so first and foremost the armor set. For this, you're going to want Frozen Blaze armor. Now this armor should be maxed out as much as possible because it scales really hard with the Blaze pet. And for your helmet, a Warden helmet will be a great idea because this will be an update that's entirely combat based, and if the Enderman Slayer update showed us anything, the admins are ready to throw some really powerful stuff at us. So it's best to be prepared and have a very nice setup like this one. Now, in terms of pets, this might be something where you're really confused. Currently with Frozen Blaze, you can use a Blaze pet, or you can pet stack with a Blaze pet on top of a different pet. So which one is better? The regular Blaze pet or the pet stacking? Now recently they actually nerfed the regular Blaze pet, and they made it so that it did not buff your stats in the Nether by 20%, it only buffs them by 10% now, which seems like a really big decrease. But let's see how it actually affects it in terms of damage. So I'll be using a OFA Giant Sword right now, which is the weapon I most recommend for this update. It's a little inconsistent, but about 1.2 million damage is what I'm seeing, around that much to these magma cubes. And I think 1.2 mil should be enough to tide me over through the update. And my effective health is 50,000. Alright, so now let's pet stack. I'll be stacking with my golden dragon on top of the blaze pet. So as you saw from that footage, the golden dragon is actually doing almost the exact same damage as the blaze pet, and you're losing out on a ton of effective health. With this setup, my effective health is just 40,000, which is about 10k less. So for this revamp update, it's true. Pet stacking is not going to be better, because it won't let you do more damage and your effective health will be lower anyway. Alright, so now let's get into some weapons that you want to use. As I mentioned earlier, the OFA Giant Sword seems like the best thing we have right now. This thing is still pretty good even after the OFA nerf. A tier 7 Giant Sword would be better, but honestly I cannot afford that. I already bought this thing just for the update. And here are some alternatives. So an Emerald Blade is also a good option. I don't have a lot of purse coins on me right now, so it's not very good. I only recommend the Emerald Blade if you have like 400 million coins more in your purse. And then there's the Shadow Fury. So the Shadow Fury is definitely a good option. It's really cheap right now, and it'll give you some speed, which is nice. It's also a whole lot cheaper than the Giant Sword, so definitely a good option. Now, I think that the mobs are going to have well over 1 million health in the update, and this will mean that things like Right-Click Mage and Terminator might not be very viable in this new update. But if the admins have to go easy on us, then a Terminator could be a great option. As you can see right now with a Terminator, I'll be doing 600k actually, with the Terminator ability, which is actually not that bad, and it'll definitely be very good because the Terminator fires 3 arrows, so you could conceivably be doing about 1.8 mil with all 3 of these arrows, which could definitely be very strong in this new update. And lastly, a Gyrokinetic Wand would be a very good option, as if these mobs have a ton of health, it might be good to clump them together and Terminator them for massive DPS. Alright, now let's talk about the healing items you're going to want. If the Enderman Slayer update showed us anything, healing is something that the admins value. And although these mobs are probably not going to have over 1 million health, meaning that a player with good gear such as me will be able to one-tap them, I still think it would be valuable to have a good amount of healing items. So for this update, I recommend healing items that work at any point. So for an Overflux, you place it down, and then you have to be within a certain radius of this Overflux, otherwise it doesn't work anymore. And I think that this update will require a lot of movement, so I don't recommend any sort of power orbs, as you're most likely going to move all over the island to be able to progress. Instead, I recommend getting this Wand of Atonement or Florid Zombie Sword. It's compact, low mana cost, and tons of healing. But there's another solution that could work even better, which is our good old friend Necromancy. Now, Necromancy is great because you can just let your summons take all the damage for you. So in case a mob is very difficult to kill, you can literally just ask these summons to attack it and they'll attack it until you can regen. So a necromancer sword or some necromancy weapon is a definite must-have. So that is my guide for the upcoming Nether update. As you can see, I'm pretty sure this thing will require a ton of damage, meaning that you're going to want to have the highest damage setup possible, which is the 3/4 Frozen Blaze and Warden Helmet. On top of this, a giant sword will be a great option, but you shouldn't pet stack because it actually is not worth it at all because the Blaze pet is still incredibly powerful. In terms of healing, I don't recommend Power Orbs as I expect this update to be highly movement based, so Power Orbs are not a good option, but Necromancy and healing items are always a good option to have for this update. I hope you enjoyed, and when this update finally releases, let's see if I was right about any of this stuff. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.